Hello viewers, welcome once again to the CIDC Media Channel Chat Show. As you're aware that in the series of very interesting interviews which we are hosting continuously to give you a lot of insights about the situation, overall situation of the industry during this tough time of COVID-19. And in the series of interviews, today we have a very powerful and a very interesting topic to discuss with you. And the topic is women in COVID and post-COVID. My name is Praveen Tiwari. I am General Manager at Construction Industry Development Council, and I'm your host for this interview. And the expert I'll be interviewing today her name is Sanja. Sanja is Executive Director, Foreign Investors Council, Sarajevo, Bosnia, and also Chair of Women Empowerment Committee at IFTDO. It's great to have you, Sanja, with us today on this chat show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
As we have mentioned to our viewers that this is going to be a very impactful, powerful, and a very interesting topic. While the economic and social impacts on all are severe, do you think they are more for the women?
Well, the fact is that many companies, men, women, everybody is now struggling to cope with new circumstances, especially those economic circumstances. And even as several government restrictions are lifted. Talking about companies, some of them are still in the midst of fighting for their immediate survival, while others are evaluating how to best restart their operations and prepare themselves for restructuring amongst the expected recession in many countries, which will, of course, affect both men and women seriously, I'm afraid. So far, as you're aware, the situation globally remains ambiguous and projections for the future are uncertain. When it comes to women, it is the fact that many of the industries in the formal economy that have been directly affected by quarantines and lockdowns, such as travel, tourism, restaurants, food production, construction as well, have very high female labor workforce participation. Women also constitute a large percentage of the informal economy in informal markets, as well as agriculture all around the world. If we are talking about both developed and developing economies, many informal sector jobs, domestic workers and caregivers are mostly done by women who typically lack health insurance and have no social safety net to fall back on. Now that our private and professional lives were both strongly affected and mixed in a very, how to say, unexpected manner, speaking as a woman myself, the fact is that we are all now facing same issues globally, even if we are coming from small countries such as myself or from big country, rich or poor. We have to be aware that women now, maybe even more than ever, have a special role of mixing and trying to come up with successful solutions for dealing and handling both private and professional lives. Luckily, our natural problem-solving skills and ability to multitask have shown in this time of crisis and have been used as handling difficult situation in amazing manner, which I can testify for many women in my surroundings, and I'm sure all over the globe, in which manner they have successfully handled both their households and professional engagements with great patience, skills, and very important positive attitude.
Absolutely, Sanja. What you said makes a lot of sense. Is the crisis having an impact on women's health and safety?
Absolutely. Apart from the direct impact of the disease, women may find it hard to access much needed maternal health services, given that all services are being directed to essential medical needs. also the very conditions that are needed to battle the disease, such as isolation, social distancing, restrictions on freedom of movement, are now perversely the very conditions that fed into the hands of abusers, who now find state-sanctioned circumstances tailor-made for unleashing abuse, which puts women into even more difficult situation than it usually is for women in many, especially developing countries.
And what actions, according to you, the governments across globe can take to overcome the situation post-COVID?
Well, as I said, magnitude and duration of the upcoming recession are still unclear, but experiences, at least in Europe, and according to our research, majority of our companies, when I say our companies, I mean members of the Foreign Investors Council, have started preparing for recession. Scenario planning will be critical to navigate in the next 6 to 12 months. And of course, all the economies are waiting for the government measures to be successfully implemented. Bailout and stimulus packages must include social protection measures that also reflect understanding of women's special circumstances and recognition of the care economy. This means ensuring health insurance benefits for those most in need, and paid or sick leave that are necessary for women that could not come to work because they were taking care of children or elders at home. They were, or they still are. For informal sector employees, who constitute the vast majority of the female labor force in developing economies, special efforts should be made to deliver compensatory payments. Identifying those informal sector workers will be a challenge, and will need to take account of countries' particular circumstances, but it is worth the effort to ensure more equity in outcomes. I'm also sure that initiative of SIDC for conducting testing certification workers can help generate some useful data. These good practices models can be replicated worldwide, and India, with such a huge population, I'm sure could be a role model.
Any concluding remarks, Sanja, from you on this entire discussion? Would you like to give any concluding remarks on this?
Well, thank you. I mean, the fact is that these actions, both taken privately or done by government or economies, are more and more urgent. When it comes to women, building in the needs of women offers an opportunity for us to build back together and better. We have now realized that we are not being paid for our attendance, but for our performance. And we are all now in our different roles, both privately and professionally, focused on coming up with new solutions, new strategies, and development of our working and living process. And that's a 24-hour job now. This situation requires development of skills that any true leader and manager should possess. And those are courage, endurance, and assertiveness. We have to be aware to which extent we have developed and improved those skills in the previous period during the COVID crisis, as we have all been given a highly demanding test in crisis management now. Hopefully, we will all learn our lessons and move into a new era, ready, more consciousness, and fully aware of how our individual actions affect the global ones. And as my major conclusion remark, I would like to point out that fear now seems to be the most powerful virus that spreads faster than any other virus, including corona. This is our local, global, individual, collective, you name it, opportunity to grow, contribute, and take an active role in the creation of new era, new world. If we still have time, I would like to give my notes regarding women empowerment, which is a major subject now as it was before. And that my concern is that now, given that the digital transformation is even more needed and will affect all areas of our lives, it will also strongly change the demand of labor force in many industries. And what I would like to emphasize and to kind of send a note to especially women to be aware that very soon we might be competing on the market with way younger generation, meaning with our sons and daughters. And talking about competing and competition, I will put the accent here on women again. Besides new challenges global labor market is facing in majority of the countries, women are still facing the challenge of competing with men and not being treated equal in both private and corporate world. Observation that is, I wouldn't blame here men or certain society anymore, or cultural background, religion, and so on. I think that women need to finally take all the responsibility and to stop competing, in fact, and to rely and offer our authenticity, primarily as human beings, as women, as the best version of ourselves in both human, moral, and professional dimension. We should recognize that the fact that we have been given great ability to solve problems, which we have demonstrated now in this very, very extraordinary circumstances. So our ability to solve problems in a very easy and simple manner, successfully dealing and taking care of the essentials in the matters of urgency, has been demonstrated and proven again now. And we have to recognize it to ourselves as well. And it is then and only then that we will be able to profit and compete and make a change. Thank you.
It's a very loud and clear message which you just shared, Sanja, very impactful. And I would say, what better tribute to our shared humanity than to implement policy actions that build a more equal world. And on that note, I really thank you so much for your time and those insights which you've shared for our viewers. I'm sure definitely our viewers are going to definitely benefit from whatever information you've shared today. Thank you very much, Sanja.
Thank you very much, and keep safe, and all my love goes to India.
Thank you. And for our viewers, once again, we brought in this piece of information from Bosnia, Sarajevo. And keep on giving us the feedback, because it's your feedback which encourages us to bring in more and more interesting interviews on the topics which you suggest to us. So keep on watching, keep on liking, keep promoting all these good thoughts and good interviews which we are presenting to you, and keep on giving us the feedback through the comments. Thank you very much, viewers.